Mahatma Prabhu.
One of the thoughts that always comes to mind when we see devotees who are having trouble and we would like to see them more engaged, at least that comes to my mind, is the concept of inspiration. Because as we know, we can't force anybody to do anything. So I think it's good for us to think in terms of how we could personally inspire, which may just be example or encouragement in some way. Because ultimately, spiritual life is based on that faith and inspiration that comes through sadhu sangha. Sometimes I see devotees complaining, and I always feel like, well, how can we complain? We're here. So if we can't inspire others, who can we complain about other than ourselves? So I think that's an important element in this discussion to consider. I'm lacking the ability to inspire others enough so things are the way I would like them to be. And if we take it upon ourselves to be more inspirational, more exemplary, I think that would change things. We can never be too Krishna conscious. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. We have to, all of us, we have to live in such a way that we can inspire and, actually bring faith to other people. But I guess in mediation there is a thing called chamber of horrors. So sometimes I like to use it. Chamber of horrors mean if this thing doesn't happen, or for example in mediation you will put both persons in the chamber of horrors. That if you don't talk to this person, if you don't get along with this person, then what would happen in the future? And you try to bring them there. What's going to happen in the future? Oh, well, you might separate, you have to sell your house, you have to do this, you have to do that. And you bring them to start thinking of those things. So I guess that's where I'm going, that even if one is not inspired in the temple here, or Krishna consciousness, and what's going to happen to you if something happens? If this is not. So that was my point. So yeah, but it's true that we have to inspire, and we have to. We are not Krishna. We are each one of us. We have our level. So sometimes also others have to see with us. I am not perfect. You're not perfect, but I have to see with you. You have to see with me. We have to try to help each other so we can all go forward. Tamaharpu.
I was just thinking with this discussion, there's really two different perspectives. One is the perspective towards ourselves, and one is the perspective towards others. And therefore, I think both of what you're both saying are both absolutely true. For ourselves, we need to take the responsibility for our own Krishna consciousness. I cannot think I need to wait for someone to inspire me. I need to step forward and take that responsibility to my spiritual master, to Krishna, to be as Krishna conscious as possible, engage as much service. For others, I should say, as Mahatma Prabhu was saying, that we should give inspiration and try to help others along. So I think there's two perspectives here that are both true simultaneously.
Thank you for the clarification. Lilananda Prabhu had his hand up. We'll go on for another couple minutes. So
I'm just going to make a 45-minute comment, and that's it.
Okay.
So, now, in regards to that we should be inspired by reading Prabhupada's books, as you said, we should look for our own inspiration within the Krishna consciousness environment. That's true. But most devotees, they need a leader that will inspire them. Not necessarily the temple president or GBC, but someone that will lead them and will inspire them. We see that in communities where there is a leader that inspires people. It could be you, could be me, could be anybody. Others, they follow. I received an email from a devotee not too long ago. He was explaining that in the elephant community, sometimes they identify one of the elephants as their leader, and they keep following him. And sometimes he wants to get away, but they don't let him get away. They keep following him, and he becomes the natural leader of the community. So we had seen in the past, leaders that were like Bhakti Tirtha Swami always inspired me. I was always calling him and talking to him. It was always a source of inspiration. So reading the books and attending the program, that's wonderful. But most of us need somebody that will inspire us.
There is no doubt that ISKCON is suffering from lack of good leaders. And that is a responsibility for all of us to come to that level. Really. Srila Prabhupada wanted all of us to become gurus and spread this message everywhere. So it's responsibility for you and me and everyone else to become that good leader that he's talking about. And in this way we could actually take over the world if we all become good leaders. So, for everyone, those who are needing inspiration, we should be there for them. And then for ourselves, we should also try. We should really try every day. Am I getting better? Am I dedicating more time? Am I becoming a better leader in ISKCON according to Prabhupada's instructions? Lakshmi Singha Prabhu.
I would agree with what Leelananda just said. I read an article, and I forget the devotee who wrote the article. The point he was making was that more important than deity worship, more important than Shastra, is the devotee, the inspirational or pure devotee, because the devotee is animated truth, and everyone can relate, no matter what level that we're on in devotional service, can relate to animated truth, meaning living truth. And when you see what it is, what are the characteristics of that personality that's inspirational. For instance, Gorkashore Das Babaji Maharaj was not known as a great scholar. He was a great devotee. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who was his disciple, was a great scholar. But everything that Gorkashore Das Babaji Maharaj said, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur went to the Vedas, and after he would hear a lecture by him, and everything that he was said was confirmed by some Shastric reference. So even there may be, from one perspective, he was not considered consciously a Vedic scholar, but just by his life and life realizations, he was a perfectly, purely realized soul, and everything that he said, he did, all action, all animation was verified by Shastra and sadhu performance. So, and it seems like relationships are really instrumental in our lives. So I think what Leelananda Prabhu was saying is a very good point about inspiration coming from person.
I agree. That's definitely true. And there are people who, even if you have perfect devotees around, there are some people who will not be inspired. So that also is there. So, in general, so that's the point I'm trying to make. And if we all work together and try to inspire each other and, try not to delve on the imperfections that we see. Because it's very easy to see imperfections. We all have it. And we can make books of it. But if we just try to look at the good things that are happening and try to, amplify all the good things we see in others and good qualities in others, then we can all make advancement very rapidly. So we'll have to end. Okay, last thing.
The point that you made, I think I would respectfully disagree from you. I think imperfections need to be noticed as well. You can see historically that in countries where the citizens don't emphasize too much the imperfection, they don't help the government to improve. And in countries where citizens are very serious, no, this road is full of potholes and this is a problem, then they are keeping the government honest to do better. So it's important not to see imperfections in an offensive way. It's this and that. No. But in a way that needs to be improved.
Yeah, that's another aspect. So we'll end there. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaur Premanandi.
Nidhi